Okay, this is a lesson, What is Temperature? Miss Wilder, lesson number 2. Okay, thank you guys for volunteering to help me teach this lesson. We're going to learn about temperature today. What is temperature? Temperature is how hot or how cold something is. And a thermometer is used to measure temperature. Everybody say the word thermometer.
Thermometer.
Okay. Let's look at this. This is a what?
Thermometer.
Thermometer. And when the temperature gets hot, the thermometer does what? Rises. And when the temperature gets colder, the thermometer shrinks or gets smaller. I'm going to read you a story about temperature. Hot and cold. Everybody say hot, cold. Everyone knows how something feels when it is hot. A sandy beach on a summer afternoon can feel hot. A pizza fresh from the oven can feel hot. Everyone knows how something feels when it is cold. An icy glass of lemonade feels cold. A snowball feels cold. The wind in the winter can feel very cold. Temperature is a measure of how hot or how cold things are. Hot things such as fire or the oven have higher temperatures. Cold things such as snow or popsicles have lower temperatures. Often you can tell whether an object's temperature is hot or cold without even touching it. Hot things make the air around it feel hot. Cold things make the air around it feel cold. Measuring temperature. A thermometer is a tool that measures temperature in units called degrees. More degrees means higher temperatures, and lower degrees means lower temperatures. The thermometers use a Fahrenheit scale and a Celsius scale. Hot and cold temperatures can be helpful. Cold temperatures inside your refrigerator keep the food fresh. Hot temperatures in your oven let you bake food like bread or cookies. Most of the time your body temperature stays about the same, but it goes up when you get sick. A high temperature is called a fever. Everybody say fever.
Fever.
Knowing the temperature is helpful. It helps you know if you should wear a coat, or if it's if it's warm outside, it helps you know that you can wear shorts and a t-shirt. The effects of temperature. Temperature affects the weather. The air sinks when it has a low temperature, and the air rises when it is warm. Hot and cold temperatures can also make things change. What happens if you place a tray of water in the freezer? Ryan?
Will turn into ice.
It changes and turns into ice because the temperature in the freezer is very
Cold.
What happens if you place water over the oven and it is very hot, Kayla?
It boils.
It boils and gets very hot. Hot temperature makes things burn. Paper and wood can burn. Hot temperature can also melt things. If you're outside and the sun is very hot, what can happen to your ice cream?
Melt.
Sarah?
Melt.
It will melt. Your body has ways to keep your temperature steady. When you are hot, your body has a liquid that comes out on it that cools it down. Does anybody know what that liquid's called that comes out on our body when we're real hot? Kayla?
Sweat.
Sweat. Did you know that sweat is actually a good thing? It cools your body down. It is. And this is called the
Glossary.
So wonder what kind of book this is. This book had, this is the title page, it had a table of contents. What kind of a book has facts, real facts in it? Regis?
Nonfiction.
It's a nonfiction. That means it is not a made-up story, it's a real story. It's a true story. So we talked about that a thermometer is used to measure temperature, and temperature lets you know how hot or cold something is. So can you guys think of something that is hot? Something that has a hot temperature? Kayla?
The sun.
The sun. Ooh, yes, the sun is hot.
It's very hot.
Daniel?
Like hot water.
Hot water? Yeah, that's hot. Brooke?
Fire.
Fire is hot. Regis?
The oven.
The oven. Rayan, can you think of something?
The microwave.
A microwave gets hot in there? Yes. Araceli? A fireplace? Yes, that's a good one. Sarah, can you think of something that gets real hot?
A light.
Oh, a light gets hot. That's why your parents might say, don't touch the light bulb, because it does get hot. It has a little electricity going through it that makes it hot. Okay, can you guys think of something that is cold and shivery? Araceli?
No.
Ooh, yes, snow is cold. Kayla?
Ice.
Ice is cold.
A giant ice block.
Yeah. Regis?
Ice cream.
Ice cream is cold. And Daniel? A popsicle is cold. Brooke? Antarctica, the continent. Yeah, it's very cold there. Maggie?
Maine.
Maine, yeah, that state is a cold state. Okay, we've named some things that are hot and some things that are cold. Also in our social studies book, our science book, it shows you a thermometer and shows you some kids, drinking the water. How do you think that water tastes? Is it hot or cold, Araceli? Cold, because we don't drink hot water, do we?
No.
Well, Miss Wilder has some real thermometers. Now, thermometers, they can break, so you have to be careful with them, because this is glass to hold the liquid that's inside.
And it's poisonous.
Yes, and the liquid, when it gets hot, what does the liquid do, Regis?
It goes up.
It rises up. And when the liquid inside gets cold, what does it do, Sarah?
It drops.
Drops, and that means goes down. I'm going to give you each a thermometer to look at. Oh, you don't get to keep it, but you can look at it. And you can see that your thermometer, the red line,
is 70
goes to a certain degree. Mine is at 70. What does everybody have?
I have 70.
So that means it's about what degrees in here?
70.
70 degrees. Let's see, Ryan. What does yours say? Where is it at? See, if you look on the Fahrenheit scale, which is what we use, yours is about 72. Don't look on the side that has the C,
That's
Celsius.
Celsius.
We use the F, the Fahrenheit scale.
Mine is 80.
Okay, they can vary. They don't have, they're probably
different.
close. But what is this called, Araceli? This is a thermometer. And a thermometer is used to measure how hot or how cold something is. And it tells us the temperature. If I take this thermometer and I put this thermometer that's at 70 in this bowl of ice, What do you predict is going to happen? What do you predict? Predict means to think or guess, to make a guess. What do you think is going to happen to the liquid inside? Sarah?
I think it's going to go down.
You think it's going to go down? Well, I'm going to put it in here and we're going to see what happens. We're going to let it sit there for a second. And I just happen to have a bowl of warm water. And I'm going to put a different thermometer in this.
It's a tiny one.
And it also has about 70 degrees. This is warm water. What do you think is going to happen to the thermometer, Maggie?
It's going to rise.
The liquid inside will rise. So I'm going to set it in here and we're going to see what happens.
Ooh, can you try?
I'm going to wait just a second and give it a second. And sit back down. Let them sit there for a second. And I'm going to tell you what you're going to do next. You're going to get to go back to your table and make a thermometer headband. You will color the middle of your thermometer. What color?
Red.
Red. That's the liquid in the thermometer, and you'll put your name here. And then I'm going to staple it around your head when you get it made, and we're going to play a little game.
Yay!
Okay.
We know that game.
And then you're going to get to do this experiment too.
These two phones?
All right, let's see if anything has happened. Look at the thermometer now. It went from 70 down to almost 40. It dropped how many degrees from 70 to 40? Maggie?
30.
30 degrees. The ice made the temperature go down. Let's see what happened to the warm water. The thermometer has risen to almost 100 degrees. The temperature went up.
Mom,
Well, what I want you to do now is you're going to go back to your seats.
mine is 90.
And I'm going to give you a headband to color, and I'm going to put a cup of ice and some of the warm water in a cup on your table, and you're going to get to put your thermometer in there while